Good evening. Welcome to the Diablo 3 podcast. I'm your host, Flux, and we are online at diabloii.net. We have a big show tonight talking about ongoing Season 6 stuff and power creep and the greater rifts hitting 170, roughly. Is someone his you guys over 150 yet?
Not quite there. Not quite there.
Maybe after the show, though. Yeah. I am joined initially by Captain Goldfish.
Hello.
And by other person. What do we call you on the show?
James.
James, huh?
Yeah. So
How'd you figure that? How'd you think that up for your online name?
Because I'm not an internet troll, and I feel like everyone should just call themselves their own name online. I mean, so scandalous. I know.
It's weird. I still feel really weird looking at like Facebook when people have like their real names on a website. I'm like, why would you ever put your real name on anything on the internet? Have you ever seen the people on the internet?
No, I don't see people on the internet.
And that's why your name is James, and not Captain Goldfish.
Yes, Captain Goldfish is usually not taken. That's why I use it as my...
Actually, James is quite often taken, so maybe I should change it up a little bit.
David. Just go by David or Frank or something. That way no one will know who you are. You'd be secret.
Yeah, then I can claim to be my brother. That would be a good idea.
Speaking of pretend names, we'll be joined by Nerdwords here in a few minutes. He's not quite available yet, but should be on the podcast later, and he will jump in and tell us all about how awesome wizards are, as always. That is his purpose around here. Yeah. So what have you been playing so far this season, Captain Goldfish? What classes? Are things new and different than previous seasons? How is it going?
Well, I started off with a barbarian. I was a little bit... I really didn't know what I was going to do this season, but started with the barbarian, tried to get them up as high as I could, and then got a bit frustrated and switched to a wizard. So I got the barbarian up to Grift 73, I think. I'm having a little bit of trouble, but I haven't got a ancient weapon for him yet. But one day on the wizard, and I get a whole ancient set, and I'm already faster than the barbarian. So
the gods of RNG blessed you. They're saying that you should play wizard, apparently.
Yeah, well, I used all my mats, all my blood shards, everything to try to get this two-handed weapon, and I just nothing.
What weapon?
Trying to get the IK weapon to have the Raycors and the IK set.
Mm-hmm. I just remember like 2 seasons ago when like GR50 was really high, and you're like, yeah, I played Wizard for one day, I'm at 74. God, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Remember when 25 was hard to get on your legendary gym?
Well, that was Flux, if I may. One of the reasons I wanted to talk on this podcast is last time I talked to the podcast was actually Season 2. And basically shortly after that conversation, I kind of got fed up with the game, and I really haven't played since Season 2. And so all this stuff about... GR50 used to be next to impossible, except for the hardest of the hardcore players. It's really interesting to see all the power creep that's happened in the past 4 seasons. So this season previously every other season I had been Barbarian. I was Barbarian on Vanilla, Barbarian in Season 1. I actually did a lot of Crusader and various other classes because I'm an Achievement Hunter in the Achievement Hunter group. But this time I decided to do Demon Hunter just because I randomly decided to do Demon Hunter. And without too much effort, I have I got up to GR60, and it was pretty crazy to me the amount of power creep that's happened, considering that when I last played, nobody had hit GR60, and me with a little bit of effort, I've now hit GR60 in a week. In fact, my Paragon is higher on my season account than it is on my main.
Maybe you're just really good now. Maybe you just got really good at the game somehow. Like not playing it, like you were thinking about it, and like you were like hand movements and stuff, and now you're awesome.
Well, I mean, I do watch Quinn and Alcazar, or however the hell you say his name, from time to time. And I do read the Diablo Reddit, but I don't think I'm that much better than what I used to be. But I think... Whatever deal I did for Kalata this season has definitely paid off, because I hit 70. I needed like a legendary belt, and 100 blood shards. I got a legendary witching hour, or ancient witching hour, I should say.
It's a good start.
Yeah, and then I got an ancient mana core with like near perfect rolls in like 3 rolls. So it's like, and I had those like Paragon is 100, and I'm Paragon 6 something now, and they're still like really good. So, whatever deal I did with Claude, I want to make sure I do that deal again.
Well, just take 4 more seasons off, and in season 10 you'll be awesome again.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. But
I've gone just the opposite. Season 2, I was high on leaderboards, and now I'm just barely getting by. I must be more casual now than I was then.
Yeah, but you're still 30 GRs higher than you were, though.
Yeah, I'm looking back on season 2, like the era 2, season 2. I was number 9 with wizard, and that was with a 45 clear.
All the way to 45, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You almost need to get like a full 6-piece set to do 45 these days.
Not quite, do you?
Yeah, not quite, but I mean, you like 5 pieces.
You could do 45 with no sets if you get good ancients. I did the 40 with no set pieces recently with my Demon Hunter. It wasn't too hard.
So do you like this or not? I mean, we're kind of joking about how ridiculous it is, but I mean, people generally like bigger numbers and like being able to kill more powerful things. Does it become so easy that it feels like you're cheating, though, at some point?
It does feel like I'm cheating. The biggest problem I have is that you have no reference to what you did before. So we're joking about the 45s being, he was Goldenfish.
Goldenfish, I like that.
Oh, no.
Captain
Goldenfish to you.
Captain Goldfish was ranked, in the top 10 with a 45 clear. The 40, if you could only do 45, you get laughed off the face of the leader, laughed off the face of the message boards. And so there's been so much power creep, there's no comparison. I can't compare what I'm doing this season to what I did in season 1 and 2. And that's to me the biggest issue with this. There's no comparison. You have to basically, you can't compare any of the leaderboards to anything. I feel that's the biggest problem with the continued inflation of numbers and everything. At some point, go ahead.
I would say one of the biggest problems I have is if we keep going higher, then these gems it's going to take so long just to level the gems to where you need to be. And that's the ridiculous part, especially to put it in your armor.
Yeah, then you got to throw away 15 of them enchanting your gear, so.
Yeah. Last year I had, I did all my gear up, and then it's just, thinking about losing that guy in hardcore, that's just so much work. It's very, it's too much. If we go up to, we're going to get up to Grift 200, how many normal rifts would you have to do? At that point, I think they should make the Grift keys free, so you can just play that if that's what they want you to do. Otherwise, why be in the Rift?
Yeah.
I
mean, if it keeps going up like 10 GRs per season, at some point, we thought it was ridiculous like 2 seasons ago. It's like, okay, we need back when we only had T6.
Yeah.
And then they had T10, and we're like, T10 is already kind of ridiculous. I mean, guys are doing GR 120 in 4-player parties.
Yeah. I mean, I'm soloing speed bounties on T10 with my Demon Hunter, and that's nothing out of the ordinary. And my character's not. I do have an ancient weapon, ancient witching hour, but my gear overall isn't that good. I'm not that good of a player, and the fact that I'm doing this very quickly with my character, and it's by no means the optimal build. It's pretty indictful of the state of the game, in my opinion.
So, Torment 10 is GR 45, and it goes up 5 GRs per Torment at that level. So, what's GR 100? That would be a T21?
Give or take, yeah.
So, guys are doing Torment 25 is the highest character. That just seemed kind of ridiculous when you put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when T6 was like scary, and now it's like,
when I stopped playing on hardcore, if you could do T6, you had a pretty damn good character, and now T6 is basically dead because everyone could do T10. I mean, it's
I haven't even been able to play this season, but last season, as soon as you got your first 6-piece set, which was of course a freebie because they give it to you for just doing basic stuff now with the whole Hadrig's gift, you could instantly go to T10. I mean, at least. And that was in hardcore, you know? I mean, it was like you felt safe doing T10 there. I mean, T10's what, GR30? I mean, that's just
45.
Like, no, sorry, T6 is GR25, right?
Correct, yeah.
And 25 is just laughable, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we're kind of beating this horse to death. So is this good or bad? I mean, it's ridiculous, yes, but obviously people seem to be playing the game and enjoying it. People like being powerful. The drawback is it takes so long to level up gyms. Is there any other real drawback to it? Would you like it if it was just 10% more difficult? 20% more difficult? Like GR80 was really good?
Go ahead.
I feel like the gems is really the big issue. I mean, you've basically got however hard you want to go. I mean, I think if they just keep bumping it up, that's not really progress. That's just making us level up gems more and more. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, T10, I'm fine. I don't think we need. I don't think they need to keep making it easier, which is, I guess, inevitable. That's going to happen if they keep bumping up the power. T10 is going to be even more of a flyby. So I guess I don't know. I think they should just stop already. Stop with the power creep. Maybe just try to balance other sets so maybe other builds can come up, and you don't have just one DPS and 3 helpers.
3 supports, yeah.
Yeah, for the whole.
And they tried to nerf that this season. They took out the most easily abused style last year, and this obviously hasn't made much difference. You can't spawn infinite health globes and use that for power-ups now, but you can still do other stuff that's almost as effective.
Yeah, and there's always going to be like the top build that everybody's going to want to do. But I would like it if the second best build was maybe 5 levels below it. You know, not even on the map or not even allowed in the game if you're trying to play.
Yeah. That to me is the biggest problem, especially with the exponential scaling of Greater Rifts, is how the smallest of differences will get exacerbated by the scaling of everything.
It's a very, very tall order to try to balance all of these different things. I think, if nothing else, at least it seems like what they're doing is they're just making one set really great and then changing it. Sometimes the next season it's going to be a different set, so you can play something new. But it's definitely
something different at least, if not new.
Yeah.
We were talking about this forever ago, back when we only had T6, and it's kind of like Diablo 2's end game. Like there were builds that could kind of do the end game on the highest difficulty, and there were builds that could do it just laughably fast. But at least you were on the same level, And now with Greater Rifts, it's so.
Yeah.
It's like such a finely sliced thing, right? So if we only had T10 and say Greater Rift 50 was the highest Greater Rift, there'd be people doing Greater Rift 50 in like a minute and 10 seconds, But at least you'd be in the same Greater Rift with them. Now it's like there's guys doing 115. If you're doing 70, you're like, God, I am exponentially far from this, but I'm still overpowered. Mm-hmm. And obviously Blizzard, it'd be good to have a Blizzard a developer, the one left on the Diablo 3 team. We could get I don't know who is left, Wyatt. Who turned off the lights when they shut the door, right? But somebody would be like, okay, is this what you want? Do fans really want power creep? I mean, people say we want the game to be hard and challenging and stuff, and then the game came out and it was Inferno, and everybody bitched about it for 2 months. It was too hard.
Yeah, well,
they made it easier, and now everybody likes it. So
there's this famous clip about World of Warcraft where they basically say you don't know what you want was basically what the developer said, and people booed him. But I think there's a whole lot of truth to that statement of the fans really don't know what you actually want from the game. Because we said at Vanilla we wanted the game hard. Everyone talked about how hard it was. And
it was too hard. Everybody bitched. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. It actually was legitimately super hard, and that's what everyone said they wanted. And then we got it, and we're like, no, that's not what we want. And so there's a fine line from doing things what the players say they want and what they actually do want. And it's hard to know what's actually good. And I'm guessing that the devs have more data on it, that this is probably the best way to keep players playing the game. Whether or not we particularly like it is a different statement.
Well, you're playing this season. Do you guys like it? Do you like being that powerful that quickly? I mean, it's no fun grinding along forever trying to get your 6-piece set, which is what we had for multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm. No,
you get it really easy, but
I'm still happy. I like playing. I'm still playing the game, and I'm constantly playing more than I should. But they did kind of turn it into a race game compared to It's a race to get done compared to how when they started, or at least when I started, it was a lot more like plotting through. You're battling like 2 or 3 monsters and you're moving to the next little group. Now it is like you are racing through trying to get together huge mobs and then blowing them up and then running. It's just a fast-paced game compared to what it used to be.
What I would wish is that I'd like the idea of getting the 6-piece set so you could get to whatever the highest torment was relatively quickly, but it would have been nicer if they didn't add so much power and that didn't add so much power to it so that we wouldn't have this crazy scaling of power creep, basically. But I did like the fact in Seasons you got your 6-piece so damn quick, because that eliminated a lot of the hassle of characters. Now, for instance, like I'm trying to level up a secondary character, a wizard, and it's just a huge pain, even with Jim of Ease basically getting me to level 70 in like 2 hours. But just trying to get the set pieces so I can actually do T10 or T6, that's not fun. But with my Demon Hunter, I got that for like I said, doing marginal things, and so I was able to quickly get to the end game. Basically.
Well, that's where you just play with a friend who plays a wizard, and he gives you all the set crap he finds in one game, and you have 3 6-piece sets in 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I had my wizard a week into the season. I had my friend level up my wizard, and then by the next morning, and then I just ran T10 with him, just following behind and almost getting killed constantly. And then the next day, I was running ahead of the group and basically speed farming the T10 after I found my Firebirds. Mm-hmm.
So next season, you can have a global 10 to 20% reduction in power, or you can have empowered rifts give you 4 additional levels at a time on your gyms. What percent of players just want empowered rifts to work faster?
I think more people want empowered rifts. Yeah, more people want empowered rifts. I'd rather have 10% reduction in power, but I'm probably in the minority.
Yeah, I'd imagine most fans, we all bitch about this. Everyone's like, everyone kind of feels like everybody else gets powerful too quickly, but it's just right for me. Like, my power curve is perfect. Everybody else it's too easy for, though, because, we kind of measure ourselves by other people, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would prefer that in this scenario that the power didn't go up anymore. I mean, I'm fine with it as it is. If they want to bring it down a little bit, that's fine, too. But I think people would be very upset if they couldn't get their gems up to the same level that they got them before.
Yeah, everyone bitches about nerfs, so that's a common thing, obviously. This reminds me of an old saying. I think it's a Malcolm Gladwell. You should talk about it. I think it was in Blink or one of his early books, talking about what people say when they want, what they actually want. Mm-hmm. And everybody says they like rich, dark, full-bodied coffee, and everybody actually, like 95% of people actually drink like watery, weak, overly sugared, caramel bombs from Starbucks.
Yeah.
So everybody says they want a challenging, hard, difficult game, but when they actually play it on themselves, we all say, we want people to build character and have to work really hard and struggle, and then it's like, we actually want to get to level 5 in 7 seconds.
I'd rather if they just changed the numbers to, like Gira 50 is now what the old 100 was, and just change the level of the gems as well, and just do that, because I'm tired of these huge, pushing it to 70 to 80 just to level up gems is just crazy.
But of course they can never go back, You can't suddenly just drop, if the next season suddenly like GR 80 was what GR 100 is now, people would just have like a fit. Like, why my character's so weak, I can't do this. Well, so whenever they add anything good, they have to make everything else kind of go up a little bit. Like, some new set is 50% better, so then all the other sets become 30 or 40% better, so they all kind of still feel fun and powerful.
Well, then they need to just change it and give everybody to level 80 and then just switch all the stuff. Go from, like they did with ROS came out, moved us all to 70, just got rid of all the gear was no longer gear you'd use. So just move us up to 80 and then change the whole system to 50 being really hard now.
Well, I think we've given up, at least I've given up on there being another expansion pack. Some people think there still might be working on one somewhere, but that's kind of the only way they could do it. They can't really do it in a patch where suddenly, hey, all your characters are half as powerful as they used to be, even if it's only a number thing. Like if you just sort of double what the numbers are, or cut them in half, people would still feel weak even if they were just the same killing speed. You have to do a whole new game and have like all the character, half your, like you said with ROS, suddenly there was no more, all Leech was gone, and some of the other really overpowered mods were just removed from the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that in a whole new expansion because it's optional, but you can't just break everything in a patch.
I mean, definitely with the announcements recently about the developers leaving to WoW, it definitely feels like in the announced post that it's more likely going to be a Diablo 4 rather than expansion number 2 coming out.
And don't exactly hold your breath on either of those being anytime soon. In my
well, it was June 2008 was the announcement for Diablo 3, and it came out in May of 12. So
yeah, and they started working on it in 2000. So do the other math on that. And half the team got quit and/or got fired.
Yeah, in 2004, give or take.
Anyway, so switching topic from the power creep thing. So build stuff. I mean, pretending that you're not, every build isn't super powered now. Are you guys playing different builds? Are you liking the new builds? Are there new? You said you both are playing different characters than in previous seasons. So obviously you're getting some new experiences in your playtime.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last season I played the Crusader, and I started off. I wanted to play Invoker, and it just wasn't good for groups. And the LON bomber was so much better. And then in the PTR, the Invoker looked like it was coming back, but apparently it was just a bug with the hack proccing another proc, so they didn't want that. And I just moved to Barb, and I had a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying the Barb, the throwing the boulder. I think it's hilarious every time it happens. So I like that. And I just went with the Wiz because they're just clearing lower difficulty so much better, and with a group it's just so much faster.
Okay, Captain Goldfish. So Captain Death Stare, you're playing a Witch Doctor, another one, Demon Hunter this season.
Demon Hunter, yeah. This is the first.
Have you played DHs in the past, or was this the first one you played since season 2?
I've never had M6 before, so as much as I had played Demon Hunter before, I'd never gotten the full M6. So,
and that's the one you get for Hadrig's gift this season, so you can't help but get it.
Yeah, you can't help but get it. And I've actually played all the sets to get the set dungeon quests.
God, you're a brave man.
Well, the achievement list, you only have to do GR40 for those, so it doesn't take much effort at all. But the best weapon I've gotten has been for the M6. I got the Manticore Ancient with pretty decent rolls. So
that's the one that buffs the damage of your sentries.
Cluster arrow.
Yeah, that's right. Cluster arrow. I was using that
last season. 40% or something reduced resource cost, and like mine has rolled 74% damage increase. So basically,
it's 60 to 80 on that one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But of course, that's one of the reasons I was going to play some this season. I've had 0 time at work. I'm working a full-time and a part-time job now, so it's just ridiculous. My next day off is Tuesday, June 9th. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that already, I can tell you. It's pretty sad. But anyway, I've never liked the UE set, the Unhallowed Essences set. I always feel like it's just sort of cheesy. You sit at the corner of the screen and multi-shot across the whole screen. You occasionally have to alternate left and right click. It's really challenging. That's a joke, of course. Yeah. But talking about the last podcast, I was like, oh yeah, man, I was like, Marauders is so buffed this season, and they're like, nothing compared to UE. So that literally took my desire away to play. I'm like, if the most powerful set is the stupid easy one to use that doesn't require any skill, I didn't want to play. What's the point?
Yeah.
I took my ball and I stayed home.
Yeah.
So you're playing Marauders just because you're a masochist, or you don't like UE, or what?
I guess I haven't found a good weapon for UE. I kind of like Marauders, the way it plays a little bit, because you have to have your sentries out.
Yeah, you have to actually use skill to place things. That's why I like playing it.
Yeah.
Of course, the resource management's gotten ridiculous now because you get so much reduced power cost.
Yeah. But you
still really hard. But now it's like, yeah.
You still run out, even though I have like reduced resource costs on almost everything, and 10% from Paragon and 40% from the Manticore. I still go out of hatred like almost instantaneously in big fights. I actually run a combination of what's it called? I have Rakhov's Glass of Life, which gives you more increased chance of health globes dropping, and I run Reaper's Wrath in my cube. so that I could basically just continually vault in to grab health globes, vault around, and continue to spam cluster arrows.
Was it Dawn? What's the crossbow that has the massive reduction in time to your fanaticism or your
Vengeance? Yeah,
Vengeance.
Yeah, I have Dawn in my cube.
So that was the whole macro last season. Now, you had that, then you had permanent. You had that in your cube. Therefore, you had permanent fanaticism or vengeance. Therefore, you could never run out of hatred, or almost never.
Well, I don't quite have enough cooldown reduction across my gear to do that. So I prioritize resource cost reduction over cooldown reduction. So what I eventually I'll probably have enough CDR from upgraded items to run that.
Yeah, is every non-Demon Hunter player is currently gnawing their veins out of their wrists. Let's get to the other class here. So what's new and exciting about your class, your Captain Goldfish? You got sick of the bar, but now you're playing other things. Were you doing new builds and stuff though before you had done before?
I'm still playing my barb. I'm kind of playing both. I'm trying to get the barb as high as I can, but I'm kind of coming back to the wizard. I was the wizard for a couple seasons, and I also played monk for a couple seasons. But now I'm back to the wizard. I really like Firebird set. I really like the way the original Firebird, when you just ran around trying to set things on fire and just running around like crazy. I like that. I'm not as big of a fan as they are now because all of the wizard builds use the Halo to proc the bracers that give you reduced damage from mobs being frozen. And I wish there was more of a range build for a wizard. But it is fun to see things just blow up. So it's always fun.
Well, that's been Nerdbird's whole complaint about it. He plays Wizard nonstop, and he's supposed to be on the podcast. He's been texting me, yeah, I'm trying to get home. Something's going on at work, blah, blah. So he may be appearing here any minute now, or possibly not. But it's just ridiculous that there's no Wizard range build. Like, all the power from Wizard comes from being surrounded by monsters now. Yeah,
you jump in, then you freeze them until they start to get immune from it, then you jump somewhere else. And, like I said, I've been away for a couple seasons, maybe, I think 2 seasons I've been away from the Wizard. I kind of got away from it when they became like super strong and everybody wanted to be one. Of course, I screwed that up. And now I'm just not very good at it, and I'm just almost constantly dying, which I think is the point of a wizard, to just be constantly almost dead. And I feel like I'm going to lose this wizard at some point.
Are you playing softcore or hardcore?
I'm playing hardcore. And I've had this wizard.
Constantly dying is a bad thing in hardcore, by the way.
Yeah, well, luckily you get 2 procs. But I've had this wizard for 3 seasons now because I rebirthed him last season for a little bit. He didn't get too much action. But he's currently my highest played character, like 300 hours. So even though I only have like a week's worth of work into him now, it's not a big deal if I lose him. I have a sentimental attachment to him, so I'd be quite upset.
Are you using him as a generic pronoun, or are you actually playing a male wizard?
It's a guy, yeah.
That's not allowed, you realize, right?
Yeah, I know. But he's been around for a long time, so the other ones have died.
So, James, is your Demon Hunter a female, or do you want to leave the podcast early?
No, I actually had a Demon Hunter. I played the Demon Hunter female last time I played Demon Hunter, so this time I changed to play male. I always alternate. God. I alternate the gender of my characters. So
there's only one gender for the Demon Hunter. You can be a girl or a girl.
My last one was female, though. The one I played in season 2 was female. So
yeah, great. 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you're both off the podcast now. If Nerdwords was here by now, I'd have to kick you both off. But since you're not, we'll have to keep talking.
I think he does. He has a male as well, didn't he? Or he was going to have one and then transmog it into some very silly-looking thing. Wasn't that his? I thought he was going to do that.
He's got a lot of issues in his life. I think we should probably leave that out of it. His transmog. Okay. His transmog. He wanted to have a pink wizard with a halo rainbow bunny unicorn hair.
Yes.
Which reminds me, the next topic I had on here: cosmetic buffs galore. I have never really given a name about cosmetic buffs. I always forget to ever. I forget even what it's called. Transmog. Yep. I forget to transmog just to finish that one, the one page in the seasonal journey. I'm like, oh yeah, I have to transmog. I always forget that. I'm 3 pages ahead of everything else. and don't care. But lots of people are really into transmogs, and they find all this stuff, and there's a ton of new ones this season. Have you guys been enjoying the new cosmetic stuff?
I mostly just I decide what I'm going to look like this season depending on what I feel like, and then whatever new piece I get just gets transmogged and dyed into whatever that looks. But I have before the season started, I went and I found the new wings, and I found the portrait and the follower that you had to farm for specifically. I did all that before the season started because I knew I didn't want to do it when the season was going. But I did not.
And what does it look like?
No, it's in.
Do you have butterfly wings?
It's not in use. No, I didn't get the butterfly wings. That was the one thing I didn't get. I only had like 2 chances to try for it, and I didn't get it either time.
Do you have the rainbow pony profile?
I do.
Was that endless farming for the goddamn teddy bear, or what?
I think somebody just called me into their game, and I got it from them.
Boy, so, a noble journey there, brave knight.
Yeah, and that was that. And then that was done. I'm not going to do that place anymore. It's kind of like, for me, it's like the set dungeons. I've done them all, and now I don't have to do them anymore. And I don't have to complain about it being so random or crappy to do because it's done. And I've got my green wings.
Do you have the super special green wings or just the lower level green
I've
wings?
got both, but I like the lower level ones even more. I like those better. I think the other ones are gaudy.
But if you don't wear the other ones, how do people know you're better than them?
Because I turn them on if I feel like showing off.
Okay, there you go. As long as they understand that you're the better player than them and that you endlessly farmed set dungeons.
Every once in a while, I'll turn them on and say, "Here, I got them," and then I'll go back to my other ones because the other ones look much better. And I don't see very many people with them on.
They don't want because they're not better than you. That's why. So, what is the state of your cosmeticism here, James? Do you have are you glorious and do you have 5 different looks? Or you just wear whatever you find?
I cared more about how my barbarian looks, the one I still have for vanilla. But other than that, I basically I use the transmog for the achievements and the Hedrick's glyphs, and that's about it.
So is it because you're playing a male demon hunter that you realize no clothing can possibly hide your sin?
No, I didn't care about my female demon hunter either that I had from season 2. So.
Oh wow! Are you wearing? Have you dyed all your gear? Are you transmogged? You don't care? You just I
dyed all my gear for the achievements. Like I feel so blue and the lovely dye for the pink achievement, but I think I've actually deleted the characters I had those on. So make character space.
Okay, you both depressed me terribly. So do you guys like all the cosmetic crap? I mean, are you pre-ordering collector's editions of other Blizzard games just to get new pets and stuff, or you just don't really care that much?
No, I like the new pets. I do like those.
The pets are good. Speaking of other additions to the game since I last played.
And you're playing a Marauder's Demon Hunter, the one class that got screwed by all the new pets. Used to be we were the special ones that had special pets that got our gold for free.
Yeah.
And now everybody has that.
Yeah, well, I think it's an apt upgrade for the game, but what do I know?
Well, that was one of the best features in beta, and they finally got it back, so
yeah.
Took them 3.5 years.
I thought I would have all the pets by now, but I have not been running bounties at all. I've run a few of them, and I've used all those to try to make my Barb's weapon, and it didn't work, and I'm just tired of running them. But that's basically the only place I would get the Menagerist Goblin, is that what it's called?
Yeah, so he doesn't spawn in Rifts, he's only in Adventure Mode, or what?
Yeah, you just find him out in the normal world.
The normal world. So where are you getting all your, don't you need materials and stuff that you cannot get in Rifts?
No, what you get is, you get the materials that you get that you have to put items in the cube.
Oh, that's right,
powers.
Yeah. All the cube stuff, yeah.
But the biggest one is you can use 5 of each of them plus 50 souls to re-roll an item for the chance to get an ancient for a legendary item.
Yeah, that's a total of gem vacuum though.
Yes, well that's what happened. I used up everything I had to roll, and I've done it. I don't know how many times I've done it, and it's not come up with anything useful.
Isn't it usually much easier just to upgrade a rare to that item type?
I did that as well.
The upgrade rare recipe is a lot less material.
I upgraded all my rares until I was out of those as well. So I mean, I did both. I did and I gambled all my shards on the two-handed weapons, even though that's kind of a fool's game. But yeah, I've got all ancient of every other build you could want for a barb, but still.
Oh, that's how it always works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will get totally outfitted in every set except for the one you want.
Yeah, well, it's just like I had in Season 1, I was playing this Crusader I liked. I was playing the Holy, what's it called, where the
Holy Shotgun.
Yeah, the Holy Shotgun, but I never had the weapon for the Holy Shotgun, despite the fact I'd gotten, like, at the end of the season, I had 3 furnaces, and two of which were ancient, but I never got the Holy Shotgun Crusader weapon. So, go figure.
And you think that was better than today, where you get everything you need immediately?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the whole. We're having the whole debate about, in microcosm of the macro debate, where it's like video games are too easy now, and they just give you all this crap immediately. And the challenge now in a lot of games is, can you play once you're totally outfitted and you can have really fun and kind of go from great to greater, as opposed to going from crap to good or from good to great?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Go ahead, Goldfish.
Oh, I was just going to say at least now with this system, you can, at least in hardcore, you can go until you're dead. You can go and push your limit until you either fail or die. So you can choose to go as high as you want. So I guess you can make it as hard as you want, which I've tried. I've almost died so many times this year, and it's mostly because I'm just not very good right now.
One of the guys on the last podcast, I think it was Muggs, was saying he actually couldn't die at the end of last season. Like we were saying, did you push? Did you go for higher grade or rifts? And he was like, my toughness was too much more than my DPS, sort of on a sliding scale. And you just get to a point where he just got the highest grifts he could do. He couldn't die, wasn't no danger. He just couldn't kill fast enough. It's like, well, that's kind of the whole sliding scale. You gotta downgrade some of your toughness for damage. But
yeah, most of what happens to me is it's very binary now. You'll get into a rift, you'll be fine until you are not okay at all. You're either taking no damage or you just procced and you're running for your life.
That basically sums how I feel in my Demon Hunter. There's basically areas and mob types where it's like these give me no issue at all, and then I get one shot, and it's just like, well, and then I proc, and it's like, well, gotta play safe. Even though I'm playing softcore, but it's just the main reason I don't complete rifts is just death timers get to me eventually, which.
And that was a big complaint like 3 seasons ago. Remember, everything was so squishy and everything was so spiky. Was the damage spike? So you'd be fine, then you were dead. And they did all these things to change that and give us lots more defensive buffs.
Yeah. Are
you just disregarding the defensive buffs because you're a software, so who cares? Or
no, I feel like my toughness is it's like there aren't too many things I could upgrade toughness on. It's just Demon Hunters get one shot unless you're running double Unity, which I feel is even in Season 1 when this was going on, I didn't like it, but.
So when your procs are up now and you're playing normally, what's your toughness spiking at? Like 250 million or?
I think more than that, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, see, for me, I feel like I've got the toughness, and I think what's happening for me is it's my skill that is stopping me from progressing.
Yeah,
because you need to know where to be. It becomes more and more important as you go up in difficulty that you can't make any mistakes.
That's also how I feel. My biggest issue is I just suck. Like that, to put it bluntly, that's what I feel my biggest problem is I don't know the mob types well enough, or not necessarily mob types, but how I'm going to get attacked, basically. So.
Would it help if the game constantly told you about how much sex it had with your mother last night? Did you feel more motivated that way? Diablo's like, I fucked your mother.
I really wouldn't care. Those never affected me.
Isn't that the appropriate punishment, though, for sucking at games?
If they want to do that, I'll let them do that. I don't care. I feel like it's more of a punishment for them, but don't tell my mother I said that.
They should get some. That'd be some good Kane voice macros, wouldn't it? Like you earn like new macros and taunts and stuff in Overwatch and other games when you do cool stuff or just play a lot.
That
like
would
if you die too much in Diablo, Kane's like, you should stay a while and listen, just like your mother. No.
That actually would be okay for a little bit, but it gets annoying very quickly, Flux.
Like everything else that Kane ever did or said?
Or Tyrael. Tyrael's eating problems are very, very annoying now and after, 2 years.
Tyrael was always annoying. He was never not annoying. The glowing wings were way overrated. I rooted against all the angels, frankly. They were pompous douches. Okay, so one other thing we mentioning earlier briefly, the whole botting thing. We had last season. They had like 10 waves of botter banning. Remember the first wave? People were like, oh well, too little, too late, and then there was this next wave, and then a next wave, and like a week they banned everybody.
Yeah.
And people went from people who were like 700 on the leaderboard were like in the top 150 after all the ban waves went. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I'm almost number one now. So you guys get a sense of, are there people, has that made a difference this season? Are there people that are already Paragon 2000 in the season and have played, 22 and a half hours since the game launched?
Well, I mean,
or does it seem like a little less insanity?
Well, I mean, right now the top European 4-man, their top 2 players are in the 1700s already, so it's hard. I have no clue if they're botted or not, but it's just Paragon. The Paragon problem is still a big problem with the game, with the higher, greater rifts pushing and whatnot.
How much experience do you suppose you get for a G120, a GR120?
Well, they're leveling. I'm watching in the background. I'm watching their 4-man the top European 4-man team trying to complete a rift, and they're doing 112s right now for whatever reason.
Can they speed run 112s or?
I think they're just trying to level gems that they can more efficiently complete 112s than they can complete 116s.
Yeah, me too. I hate that. Going up to 4 more GR is not much a big deal. I do like 108 usually for speed runs personally.
Yeah, but so it's just the extra main stat you get from all those Paragon points adds up, and it's a big issue with the leaderboards, in my opinion. It's my biggest complaint with the Paragon system, I guess.
What do you feel about the overall botting and cheating in Paragon system there, Captain Goldfish?
Well, as you know, I killed a bot last season.
Yeah, you said you led one into a horrible place in a hardcore game, right?
Yeah, so I'm still just feeling good about that. I haven't
still riding your high from last season.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool thing, by the way.
It was fantastic. But I haven't really kept up with I don't know where the bots hang out. I know they have their message boards where they talk about stuff. I think it's gone down. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, if you look at the hardcore ladder, the top players are not huge Paragon. Like the top in the four players are, you're talking 13, 1400, which seems huge, but it's not what it was last year.
So you were leading bots to their death in hardcore games. You were seeing them often enough in public games that you knew that, okay, here's another bot, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And do you notice a change this season on that
I haven't done enough public bounties. Either that or they haven't been doing the public bounties. But I know I haven't seen any suspicious behavior in a public bounty. That being said, I didn't do a whole lot of them yet. Maybe if I start doing more of them, I'll see them. But I really don't. I think that probably hit a lot of them. At least the casual ones. They have to be thinking, I don't want to pay another $50 just to bot.
Maybe
get a new game.
Yeah.
Botting is its own reward.
Yeah.
To me, the botting issue is more an issue of the. I mean, other games have various other problems as well. For instance, in League of Legends, elo boosting is a big deal, and the problem is the reward. The reward in Diablo 3 for XP for Paragon is especially the difference from 1500 to 1700 is an extra 1,000 main stat. An extra 1,000 main stat is 100%, extra 100% base damage boost. At some point, we have to consider more of is the issue botting or is the issue the rewards for XP grinding are too much for the game at the highest level? That's my sort of opinion on it. Is that
I would like to know if they banned people for the using that overlay as well.
They did last season, but people apparently are still using it. So
yeah,
Nerdwords has just gotten home. We're going to add in Nerdwords here, and he can jump in on the botting thing. Hopefully his connection will work, and it won't just crash everybody out all at once. Okay, this is where you talk, Nerdwords.
Oh, hi. How's everyone doing?
You were saving widows and orphans and kittens from burning hospital or something, right?
Yeah,
I was,
Urzale was such an evil person that day.
Yeah, I'm being tormented.
So we were just talking about botting this season. If it's less, if people are afraid of it because of all the bans last season, have you noticed much in the way of botting? The top Paragons are not 2,500 yet.
Right. Yeah. You still have like super high Paragon levels, but you don't have. It's not as rampant. I will say though, did you read the Reddit post about the map hack or Turbo Hood or whatever getting shut down?
Yeah, I just read that today.
Yeah, basically like they were hacked, so they completely shut it down. Like, yeah, so that's a thing. So obviously the deterrents are working. No, yeah, I just hit 813, which is pretty damn high for me this early in the season.
So the other issue related to the whole botting thing is incentives from higher Paragon levels. And we've been talking about this for like the last 20 podcasts.
Yeah.
And you still get such a huge bonus when you go up. I mean, are we still thinking they should cap, GR, you only get 1,000 Paragon when you're in a GR or something? I mean, we've been having the same argument forever, and it seems like nothing ever changes.
Yeah, I mean, I still think so because there's just such a disparity between even Paragon 1,000 and 2,000, but... I don't know. I mean, I feel like that, they've been needing to cap it for a while, but if they were going to, they would have at this point. Maybe they're okay with it. I mean, as someone who's actually played a good bit this season, I've pushed pretty high up there. I know this season's less dependent upon Paragons and more dependent upon your build and stuff, which is interesting, but you've got to be, at least 800 to 1,000 to really, really compete right now, and, pretty soon it'll be 2,000 because people are still going to grind. There's still the hardcore people that grind like crazy because they're up there. I've got friends in the 17, 1800s already, and they're like legitimately playing a lot. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're not botting as far as you know? They're just playing like 10 hours a day?
Yeah. I mean, they're not people that I know in real life, but they're people I've played with for a long time and have never botted like that, and there's no suspicious activity. They're not on like weird hours or like super low difficulties or anything. They're always playing like Greater Rift 95 and 100 and 105 and 110, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so we see a whole bunch of power creep stuff earlier on, but just briefly,
right.
You can throw your thoughts in on that. I mean, is it ridiculous? I mean, it's ridiculous how much it's gone up, but is it a bad thing? Do we like that you can?
I don't think. I mean, what's the difference between clearing? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing because I mean, it's power creep by definition is across the board, so it's not really it's pretty much like it's affecting everybody. It's just that the people that were at the top end are even further on the top end, which sucks, but it is what it is. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a problem. Like. I do think there are certain things that need to be brought into line in the new patch, but I think beyond that, though, it's not really that bad. You see most of the classes are hovering around the same spot on the leaderboard, except for the outlier, and then you have other classes that are like, I mean, there's usually multiple sets for all the classes that are viable, too. Yeah, we're pushing, early 90s, like mid-90s already for most of the classes, and upwards of 100 for Wizard already, but I think that it's just a matter of us getting there anyways. And the more we do the season grind, we've gotten more efficient at it. Even my grind going up this season was much faster. So I think it's a combination of the power creep and the just general, like, repetition.
So last season when you were Paragon, what do you said? You're Paragon 850 now or something like that?
813.
So last season when you were about 800, do you remember what GR you were maxing out at, and what are you at now?
Well, I hit, let's see, what is it? I hit 800 close to the end of last season, and I think I cleared a 77, 78 last season, and that was. You were
comfortably doing what, like 70?
I was doing 75 speeds. Really, I could have pushed higher. I just stopped pushing because I hated Twister a lot. So I just stopped pushing with it.
So what is your speed GR right now?
Speed GR right now, well, in a group, 95.
So it was 75 last time solo. What is it now?
Solo, I've cleared 87, but I cleared it with like 7-8 minutes to spare. So
you're doing like 82 or something comfortably now, or what?
I usually do 70s for like low level. Like when I'm grinding low level gems to get them up there, I'll start at 70, and I usually work my way up to 75, 80, 85. Because the build that the Wizard's using, you could fail a 72, and then with the same gear next rift clear 110 if you get the right build and the right RNG. So it's like, it's hard to stay comfortable because there's still several rifts, even in the 80s and 90s, where you just leave after the Rift Guardian. Group, it's absurd. But solo, there's still a lot of fishing.
So what do you feel like it's maybe 10 to 15 GRs higher, roughly?
I'd say, 10 to 20. I'd probably closer to 20, honestly.
You didn't play last season, James, so you don't get to answer this question. Neither do I. How do you feel about a Captain Goldfish? Like, where do you compare from similar amount of play time and kind of gear quality last season to this season?
I don't know. Last season I was a Crusader, and this season I'm the Barb and the Wizard, and both are just completely different. The Wizard is more comparable with the Crusader, but last season I did an 80 with the Crusader, and it seemed pretty comfortable. I was doing okay. I didn't really feel like pushing it because I just got tired of. It just wasn't. I didn't want to die. It was late in the season. I didn't want to die. This season, like I said, with the Barb, feels good, but I've only gotten to 73. I just can't get the ancient weapon. And with the Wizard, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna die. I've done a 65 in like 5 minutes or something, and that was waiting out my double proc on the Guardian where I was running around for my life. And other times I'm doing 4 minutes, in the 60s. But I'm waiting to get used to the fact of just to get the idea of, and I'm getting much better. I almost died in a 55 with pretty much the same gear, but just some practice. It's coming back to me. I was a Wizard a long time ago, but I'm just gonna die.
Yeah, that's the life pretty much.
So I think I'm going to use the Wizard in groups where I feel a little bit happier, and then I'm going to try to push the Barb solo just to see how far I can push the boulder tossing Raker's Barb.
So he mentioned this briefly earlier, Nerdwords. This is a favorite topic of yours, so you can go there briefly. But the lack of any sort of range build with a Wizard.
Oh my god!
Have you just accepted it now?
No, I haven't. I will say I actually really enjoy the Firebird Archon build. I don't enjoy the Talrasha Twister meta that's going on. I've stuck with Firebird's Archon because I thought that was interesting, and I actually really enjoy it a lot. But yeah, it's still very much melee. It's a different kind of melee. It's definitely interesting, that's for sure. It's very inconsistent, but that kind of makes it fun. I don't know, it's weird. But I still am holding out hope that we're going to get some sort of a range build eventually. I mean, it's at least moderately on their radar, right? I mean, the Halo of Karini, even though it's completely useless, is like at least a step to them saying, hey, we know that this is a thing, so we're going to throw something at it to see if it sticks. And obviously it didn't. So I'm really curious to see what they can hopefully come up with. But the closest thing we have is Delsair's orb build, but even that, I mean, and that can push 75, 80 probably. Probably even higher than that if you fish enough. But it's not anywhere near where all the other sets are just normally, or even another variation of that same build. So,
have you seen the new Talrasha Archon?
Mm-hmm.
That was pushing 100 something.
Yeah,
110.
well, there's some fishy stuff going on right now with the Wizard Leaderboard.
Oh, well, there's the other one too.
Okay, so basically there's some exploited mechanics going on somewhere. There's builds with no crit hit chance and crit hit damage that are clearing crazy high levels that are exploiting or using basically glitches in the Firebird set to use that. So you see a lot of outliers with the Wizard. Most classes are hovering around 90, 3-4 or something like that, whereas Wizard's already above 104, 105. Every other class is around the same, but Wizard's out there, and I think it's because of this bug, and hopefully they address it or take a look at it because it is making it difficult because it's hard to... There's just the Firebird set's always been super, super buggy, and there's 3 or 4 different bugs with the set. So it's not necessarily that anyone could be doing it on purpose, but learning to play to those exploits, similar to using the corner trick with the Twisters, is how these builds are excelling, and they've got to address it somehow. If they care. If they don't care, then hey, YOLO, whatever. It works, but it's definitely pushed the Wizard a little bit further ahead of everybody.
Do you think that the Talrasha Archon one is using? I thought that was using the black hole to increase.
No, yeah, but that's using snapshotting, and in a way that typically, so
that they don't like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so basically, like all 4 different things going on with the wizard right now are things that they in the past have not enjoyed and changed or fixed. A couple of which they changed in the middle of a season, and a couple of which they waited till after the season was over. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what they end up doing with everything right now, because it's just, yeah, like you said, I mean, they're using basically the black hole to proc the damage buff from Spellsteal, where, the more people in the black hole, the more % bonus you get. And then they go into Archon, which then snapshots it. And so they're able to keep that buff, basically buffs up Archon when they cast it. And then on top of that, there's still a snapshotting mechanic with Shantotos that's super, like, wacky. And then just the Firebirds, like, turning on and off at will is also kind of wacky. So it's just, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, I've gotten that bug, and that, it just happens. It just, all of a sudden you've got your 50
there's
stacks
one thing,
and you're done.
There's one thing that they do need to fix is the Firebirds cheese, the starting a Rift cheese. You know this, right?
For our listeners who don't, you should probably explain.
Okay, well, basically, one of the things to do right now with Firebirds is to run out into the world. There's a bug, and I'm calling out this bug so that hopefully it gets fixed, but you can essentially kill half of an elite pack or set them on fire with your Firebirds set, teleport to town, only kill half of them, keep the other half still burning, and teleport to town, go into a Greater Rift, and you'll start with max stacks, and as long as you skip elite packs, you won't lose your 50 stacks of Firebirds, and you can just burn through white mobs.
Well, it also happens if you're in a rift or a grift, and you start burning a blue pack, and kill one of them burning, and the other one isn't. It'll also do the same thing, and that'll continue on past. There's a lot of weird things.
To be fair, though, there's also, if you kill an elite pack with that going, it wipes the whole bug. So it's technically not just like cheese and super easy, because you have to avoid elite packs for the whole dungeon, and that's kind of hard if you're using Firebirds Archon at least.
But that doesn't always happen in a rift. You keep.
Right.
I've kept it all the way through, and until you close it, it's 50 stacks.
Yep, so. and it's just super lame, like super lame,
and it just happens to you without even
and you don't even know you're doing it. It'll happen sometimes. Like, you'll hit an elite pack, and like 2 of them will die, 1 of them will run off, and then you'll just keep that 50 stacks, and you're like not even fighting elites, and you're burning everything. But what are you supposed to do? Just quit the rift? Like, you're in the middle of a rift, you're killing stuff. So a lot of times you might not even notice it. So there's a lot of little bugs with Firebirds that need to be worked out, and I'm just curious to see if they do it in the middle of the season, or if they're waiting until the season's over, or if they even are aware that it's there. Surely they are, but that's kind of the outlier right now that's affecting the wizard. And we still have great damage. Don't get me wrong. Most of the high level clears could be cleared that way anyways. Like, the damage is there. It's just a matter of like little like cheesy weird mechanics. Like, the snapshotting is still having to be a conversation, among wizards, because you want to make sure that when you snapshot your stacks, your Gogok's fully up, your attack speed's all the way up. It's not going to affect your damage so much, but it definitely affects how fast your Archon resets its cooldown. And it's really weird. Like, again, the wizard can't just be straightforward and easy and no bugs. There's always something going on.
So speaking of the most important thing of all with wizards, though, which both of our other guests failed on their answer to this question, what gender is your wizard this season, Nerdwords?
The only gender, female.
That's what I said earlier. And Captain Goldfish is playing a male wizard, and James is playing a male demon hunter.
He's been alive
unapologetically.
I can't kill him off. He's been alive.
To be
I've
fair,
had him for 320 hours now, so he's going to die probably this season, and he might be replaced by a female. But
you realize that's like 14 days if you're botting, right?
Yeah, well, I should just leave him in the game and crank it up. But
there you go. No, to be fair, like with the addition of a lot of the goofy cosmetics, male wizard and male demon hunter could be made to look really silly, and I kind of back that because that'd be funny. But yeah, they don't truly exist.
We talked about cosmetics earlier, but did you get your ridiculous costume yet, Nerdwords?
No.
Like a glowing white and pink wizard or something?
No, but I do. I did get a few pets and stuff. I've been basically like kind of on my whenever I get on to farm and stuff, I'll do like one goblin route and then I'll like run 5 rifts or 5 greater rifts and then back out, do another goblin route and run 5 rifts and greater rifts, whatever, like stuff like that. And so like I've been kind of getting stuff here and there. I got like the falcon wings and a few of the pets. The pets are like super awesome. I'm super excited about the pets and they're so trivial and stupid, but I love them. And then I'll do like a translog based on what pet I want to use. It's very stupid and it doesn't make any sense, but I love it.
That's the entire reason to do it then.
Yeah, I know,
right? Make any sense.
Yeah. it's just
piss
fun,
off
honestly.
Flux, basically.
It's just fun, and it's fun to break out of to break the monotony of what you're doing and find a Menagerie Goblin and get a cool pet, and then like it looks super stupid, so you do a super stupid transmog to match it and stuff like that. It's just fun.
There's one that I'm after, but I haven't found any goblins for a while since I haven't been doing the bounties or anything. So I'm starting to search for them again.
Remember when we used to make fun of World of Warcraft players for like really giant shoulder pads and really stupid, colorful graphics?
See, that was you.
We have become what once we.
I never made such claims, Flux.
Yeah, I like the.
Okay, you're all off the podcast.
I also like the lore. Remember, you hated that too. Basically,
yeah.
you just need dots on a board that give you numbers. That's all you need, and you're good.
Like Dave Brevik.
There you go.
Okay, so last topic. We just had Diablo 3's 4th anniversary, and nothing amazing or magical happened. Remember, we all thought we'd got huge buffs and all kinds of wild things. Were there huge buffs and wild things?
Power leap.
But remember last season, Blizzard's like, yeah, we're not gonna have any special features this season. And obviously, they were going to have something because it was the anniversary of Reaper of Souls.
Yes.
And then we got whatever it was, I think Sentimental, right?
Yeah, it was.
It was the Kanai's King thing.
Yeah.
But based on.
I missed that. I didn't see that.
Well, you didn't play last season. How could you have seen it?
I did play last season.
I don't know enough, apparently.
No.
Yeah, so the Kanai's Cube, the old king, their King Kanai, was based on their, inspired by the name of their deceased animator. What's his face? Kanai. I forget his name. But they added some little special feature on it that unlocked once it got to that date, and he would go like a secret revel and fight the guy or something. I forget exactly.
It would open to cow level, and he ran around with you and killed cows with you while you were playing.
Oh,
it was kind of like
I did do that.
Yeah, and he was like the King Kanai or whatever, was dressed in like his character's like gear or whatever whenever he passed and stuff.
Was there jokes about him being conniving at any point? Because King Kanai should be pretty conniving, right?
But yeah, it was a super cool event, and you got to go in and just kill cows, which was cool. So it's pretty awesome.
Just recently, we had, like yesterday was I think 5/20, 5/15 I think was the launch date of Diablo 3.
Correct.
I've forgotten everything. Yeah, so last week, and there shouldn't have been like massive like quintuple goblin buffs and like exploding fireworks in the sky and cheeseburgers for everyone.
I would have liked a double bounty.
And nothing. They didn't do anything, right? They just had a little post on Blizzard about it.
Correct. I'm fine with no buffs. It's only 4 years. It's just 4 years. It's not any very special number. I'll be disappointed if there's not buffs for the 5-year anniversary if the game's still supported.
We'll be in season 7 by then with any luck. Oh, sorry, season 10.
Maybe depends.
So we did a bunch of retrospectives on the podcast recently. We did a whole thing at the beginning of the year, whenever last year, and then we had just had our 200th anniversary of the podcast and went back over a bunch of stuff. So it seems like we've been doing anniversary stuff for months. I don't really have that interest in digging deeply into this, but so I mean, just we'll go and you first, James. You've been talking much lately. Do you have sentimental thoughts? It's been 4 years of Diablo 3. You've been playing on and off. Do you remember where you were 4 years ago and how you hoped the game would be and how it's become?
I mean, it's hard to say. I played Diablo 1 quite a bit. I played Diablo 2 a hell of a lot. I thought I would be playing Diablo 3 more at launch than I did. I kind of stopped playing until, what was the one that they had, the original Paragon? Was that 1.04?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So then I played quite a bit after 1.04. Until I beat Inferno, I did that in August or something like that. And then I kind of stopped. I played, once every couple of weeks until Reaper of Souls, but It's hard to say. I don't know. I kind of like the game. Obviously, I'm doing a podcast about it.
I kind of like the game. That's your takeout quote.
Yeah. Yes, James.
Thanks for your deep insight, sir.
Yeah. I'm disappointed with the insane power creep, in my opinion, but it is what it is. If I want to play, I'll have to deal with it. But otherwise, I think the developers have done a very good job over the past 4 years of improving the game and addressing various issues and whatnot.
Okay, so Captain Goldfish, you had a chance to hear his answer. Now you can think of your own opinion on these things. Do you feel like this has been an interesting saga in your life? Has things changed?
I play too much. It's
Join the club.
It's not
by
really
what standard is it too much, though?
Yeah, well, it's probably
anyone who plays this game plays too much.
Yeah,
should be the standard.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's huge. I mean, I love this game. It's the only game I play. It's I've got lots of friends on that have been on since almost the start. So I really have kind of whittled it down to a little group that I like to play with, and it's just fun. This season, I'm not going for the crazy high, making sure everything's optimized. I'm just trying to have some fun, and I'll be happy if I'm getting into the 80s again, maybe a little bit higher than last season. But yeah, it's fun. I play too much.
Okay, that was a yes. So, do you have any inspiring your thoughts and words?
Oh, well, I like these guys. I play obviously way too much. I just play too much even for someone who's linearly focused. But yeah, the game's changed a lot, man, in 4 years from vanilla to now. It's kind of crazy. We've gone over it like tens of times at least, and multiple podcasts. Yeah.
Games changed a lot since the Reaper of Souls launched.
Right, yeah, even just the expansion, let alone vanilla and the auction house and, the original 1 to 60 experience and Inferno, and I mean, Jesus, we could talk forever about all of the stuff with this game. But for me, it's, I play a lot of other games. I work in, gaming retail, so I play a lot of stuff, like a lot of different stuff, but I always, my entire adult life and childhood life, have dedicated most of my time to the world of Diablo. Whether it's the games, the books, or whatever, I just want content. I love the game where it's at right now. I would like to see some of those outliers fixed, but I think those are incredibly minor complaints compared to the things that we've dealt with in the past and the way the game's, been managed since then. So, I'm still having a ton of fun with it, 4 years in, and plan on being here for, at least a few more.
And you still only play one character. That's the amusing part.
Yep. I mean,
so for the 5th year anniversary, you're going to try another class here? Or?
Well, I always level a class in a season, and this season I've played more than probably any other season to start. Because I usually start strong and then kind of taper off, and I've still tapered off. I'm still playing as much as possible, and it's been just a lot more lately. But I haven't started my second class this season yet. That I always level up and then never play after that. So I don't know who it'll be this season. I'm thinking maybe Monk this time.
Remember when you were going to play a Demon Hunter last season?
Yeah, she's still 70 and has some gear on her too. She's non-seasonal now though. She's she's on my account. She exists along with my Crusader that I started in season 2.
I have a Demon Hunter that I've rebirthed for the 3rd season and not geared up at all.
Nice.
I think
good start though.
8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours and 36 minutes on her.
Well, Wizard has always been interesting for me, but Wizard in the meta is even more interesting because then I'm a part of every group. So it makes it a lot more fun. I liked it when I was the outlier and kind of playing by myself a lot and playing a lot of solo and stuff, and just doing public games. But now that I can get full groups and be the primary DPS and actually have people playing and stuff, it's super nice. So it makes it even more fun for me. So yeah, I'm sticking with Wiz for a while probably.
What are the odds?
I will say, though, I finally played Li Ming in Heroes of the Storm, and I'm mad. And I knew I would be. I knew I would be mad, but, she's ridiculously awesome in Heroes of the Storm. A lot of fun to play, and actually feels like a ranged class.
It has ranged attacks, like the super powerful Arcane Orb or whatever?
Yeah, the Arcane Orb is really cool, but, even the Archon ability is really cool, and is, super different than it is in Diablo. But it's a different playstyle, but, man, the Qs, just from the way, Magic Missile works and, Arcane Orb work, they really need to try to use something to that effect in the actual Wizard for Diablo, because it's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun.
I like how you keep mentioning the Diablo 3 team and saying they, as though there's more than one person working on this game.
Yeah, yeah, one person. Who is it? Is it just Wyatt, or is it just I'm pretty sure
it's just Wyatt on a Casio somewhere.
Wyatt's holding down the fort.
Maybe Jay Wilson can come back and fix all the problems.
He'll just double everything.
I mean, double the team size. It'll be if he comes back, he will double the team size.
He'll
be two of them
the
then.
Team.
So, any final thoughts, guys? Anything else here? What are your plans for the rest of the season? Just more of the same? P1000 or bust? Remember when P1000 was like a ridiculously high number? We used to joke about that.
Yeah, I do actually.
I remember when Gabby hit, and that was a big deal.
It was. They made a post. The official page made a post.
Yeah.
And now people have that in like a week.
Yeah, I'm almost there, and it's like 2 weeks in, and I'm like a filthy casual.
Yeah, I have people on my friends list. I have 2 that I see there in the thousands, and it's just like. And these are achievement hunters, so it's they're not even grinding for Paragon. Well, I mean, they're kind of grinding for Paragon, but they're more grinding for the achievement stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I'd like to beat I almost made it to 1,000 last season. I'd like to get there this season, but we'll see how things go. Like I said, I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll die tonight several times.
Yes.
But you're soft.
Yeah.
Yes, I live that life.
Yeah. Goldfish is a little more hardcore than you, but
I know. Everyone on this podcast is. Don't worry. I know. I'm aware.
I'm not. I'm just the host.
Yeah, you just drink wine now.
Yeah, just sit back and relax and let us do all the talking. Plus.
Yeah, you pay your minions to play Diablo for you.
Exactly. Well, I haven't played yet, but I live on Paragon 1200 because I have a special program that plays for me, so it's really easy that way.
There you go.
Why waste time playing the game yourself when you can just buy a program that does it?
There you go. Maintain that cred.
You should have contract with people in foreign countries like Eastern Europe or China to get free levels, and now you just do it. It's like automation. They took our gerbs.
Our gerbs.
Okay, guys, thanks for your time. We've listened to the Diablo 3 podcast. We are online at DiabloII.net.
Boo.
Boo. We have a 4-player party here.
Yeah, now my dog's looking at me funny.